Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life, and I thought I'd show you where I'm at with doing a new layout. I'm going to put you on fast forward in a minute. I am trying to use up my Serendipity 12 by 12 pad, and I mentioned it a few times, I know. And I know this doesn't look like it, but if I open this, here's one piece of the pattern paper, and here's the second one. I'm never going to use them. I was testing out some inks on one of them. I cut out a couple of the mason jars, and this, it's so pretty, but I don't have a girl, and it's just honestly not something I'm really ever going to use. So I had this scrap of blue left over from the layout I created called I Am Nervous, talking about when I went on a ferry with my son and we went outside. But I still had a little bit of this pattern paper that I really liked. So I've been working at this for like a good 20 minutes trying to decide what I want to do. I've went through a couple 6x6 pads. I've done a few things and I could not figure out what to do. I don't have an idea for a title. I have nothing. So I went in to look in my stack of photos and I came up with these two photos that perfectly, because of his blanket and his little hat here, match this. What I like about these photos is that, first of all, even though this is floral, your eye is drawn into the photos themselves because of how bright they are as well. So it is a floral, but it's not super noticeable, to at least to my eye, which is all that matters, right? Because this is my layout. You always have to remember that when you're making your layouts, guys, that it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, because in the end, it's your layout. You're the one that gets to sit on the floor with your kids or however you share your albums and look at them. So as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. So keep that in mind. Wow, that was a tangent. Sorry. Side note. And but yeah, so I think I'm gonna play off of these photos. Now from here, I have absolutely no idea what to do. I do have a Pinterest. I have about 7 different boards that I separated between 1 photo, 2 photo, 3 photos, 4 photos, and then it's 5 plus any, like 5 or more photos. And then I also have broke it down into a couple other things. And this is where I normally get inspiration from. I do honestly really normally start with inspiration from Pinterest. Though I can create my own ideas, I find that it takes me, I was trying to do that now, it takes me 20 minutes to try to come up with my own idea when I could just be inspired by all the amazing talent that's on Pinterest, grab their inspiration, put it onto a page, and make it my own. That's what I do. So that's what I'm going to do. If I do find inspiration that is a close copy or anything, I always give credit to who it is. I'm big about making sure people don't think that I came up with the idea if I didn't. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put you on fast forward, and we'll go from there. But I just thought I would kind of share with you where my mind is with this layout. So, all right, guys, I'll put you on fast forward now.
Okay, guys, so let me start by saying I do end up finding a inspiration piece to use for this, and it's from the amazing Shamel Lane. I found a great layout that she had done, and I will put that link in the comments so you can see it if you're interested in what I am scrap lifting technically. It's not a complete scrap lift. I do make it a lot of it more of my own style, but that is where the inspiration is coming from. I use this strip from the Serendipity line. It is from, I'm sure if you have had that line, you recognize exactly what it's from. So I put that up at the top just so there's some color up there. I already had my title all figured out, and I'm titling this Ready to Go Visiting. This is a photo of Jackson all bundled up in this adorable hat my grandma had made him, and then though it's the backside, it is a soccer blanket that my mom got for Sean because Sean's such a huge soccer fan, and of course gave it to Sean to give to Jackson, sort of thing, right? So basically this is our first big outing besides going to see the doctor, and Jackson I think is maybe a week and a half old in these photos, so he's still quite new. And once again, he is our first, right now, our first and only child. So, you know, all the things new parents do. So this is one of those brand new parents sort of thing where I was too nervous to take him out. And so I waited a whole week and a half before I allowed anyone else to visit him. And I know down the road we're going to laugh at this, but I really wanted to document his first outing. And I love the photos. So you're seeing me just pull out some scraps. This entire layout is basically out of scraps except for two things, and I will point those out to you when they appear. Now that I know where my title is about to go and all of that, I placed those other embellishments because I know I want clusters in those spots, so I was just placing them there so my eye could visually think about it. I'm going to decide if I want to just matte one of the photos or two of them. I do decide to matte two of them, and I wanted to use this brighter yellow, but in the end it just was too bright, so I move on to this little bit more muted yellow. And I cut out one of these beautiful frames. I believe this is, I think maybe it's a We Are Memories Keeper piece of pattern paper. I really want to use that frame. It doesn't actually make it onto the layout though. I decided to go somewhere else with it. And through the magic of editing, that's all done. So what you're gonna see is I already drew out my lines and I placed the bird where I wanted it to go. That is staying right there. And then I'm going to work on my embellishments. So I go through these frames. I had 4 of them to decide what I wanted to do. 2 of them I automatically was like, no, this isn't right. So I am battling between using this yellow one and that more pink one, though it does read more red when it's on the layout. And originally I wanted to do the yellow so I would have yellow in 3 spots, but it just didn't end up working. I didn't like the contrast it was making, so I swapped that out for the pink one instead, and I think that it worked a lot better. And you're going to see me do that now. And that is the way I go. The nice thing, like I said, is that frame reads more red than it does pink. And obviously Jackson's a boy, so though I don't mind using pink on layouts, I do enjoy when it reads more red than the pink. I'm working on my top cluster up there, and I've got to tell you, I work on it, but it doesn't actually go there. It ends up moving down to where that tab is, but I had the hardest time. I couldn't decide what I wanted. I had pulled out a lot of different pieces to play with, and I wanted to originally use the globe because we were visiting, and I thought I don't really have a lot of ways to use globes. We don't travel very much, especially with a young child. Traveling isn't really an option for us right now. So I thought it would work well on a layout about visiting, but I couldn't make it work. So, but I tried. So I had quite a hard time with that, but eventually it falls into place, and I do really enjoy the end of the layout here. So like I said, this layout is about Jackson going on his first visit, and we were off to visit my grandma and grandpa when he was still alive, and I bundled him up in that hat which she had made for him, which was really special. So that's kind of what this layout is a little bit talking about, between the difference of being first-time parents and taking him out and even taking him out and all of that. So just kind of journaling, talking about that. I did decide at the end that I thought the bottom of the layout also needed a strip of pattern paper, so I simply found this whitewashed wood grain. It's the perfect fit. It's just a little something, but it's not making your eye go straight down to the bottom of the layout, because I wouldn't want that. So I thought it was a good fit. I added that wood veneer cloud, which I was very excited to use because I have a bunch of wood veneer in my stash that I haven't been using up, and I want to start using them. So even if it's just one piece on a layout, the more I use it, the better I am about it. So as I said, I used 2 new things. So the 2 new things would be the pink chipboard frame, and then that frame at the top that cluster is on is also new from that Maggie Holmes open book collection. You're seeing me add the date to this letter sticker. That was from my stash, and I'm going to put that right next to that cluster. I will add, I think I add about 3 stars. I'm also trying to challenge myself to use more stars. I really like them, and they're perfect for boy layouts, but I have the hardest time using them. So I was determined to use them, and I do. I put one up by the cluster, I put one by the bird, and I put one by this little sticker at the bottom that says, "And here's the story," or "So the story goes," something like that. And basically that is going to wrap up my layout. I play a little bit with where I want it to go, but in the end it goes where I stated. I want to thank everyone so much for watching, as always, so appreciative, and I will be back really soon with another layout. Alright everyone, I'll talk to you soon. Bye!